Okay, welcome back to Pile of Mopars. I just got home from work. Got a couple hours to kill, so I figured I'd get started. Probably do an oil change and maybe drop the tranny pan and spray a bunch of WD-40 and get a lot of nuts and bolts ready for removal. So come along. Okay, let's get some of this archaic dinosaur juice out of here. Well, that wasn't even tight. Maybe it's been drained already. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a bunch of water coming out. Oh no, it's all oil. Didn't see any water. Couldn't see it there. I can't tell. I don't think so. I was thinking that might be a magnet on there, but this looks like an original drain plug, and I don't believe they did that way back then. You know, the oil doesn't look bad. You know, it's a little dirty, but it's not black, so that's good. A good sign. Roy, the last owner, said it was running when it was parked. So, with any luck, it didn't get any worse sitting there. But we'll switch these fluids out and do the tranny, and then probably going to pop that intake manifold off. Just to coat the cam with oil on initial startup. And then also, you know, since it's off, I might put the other intake on. I got the RPM off the race car, or I have another one of those as well. Maybe make use of one of them, and we're going to put the new headers on eventually, but not right away. We'll get this thing running first. That's coming up pretty good. Yeah, this will be a fun car to beat on. You know, a low stress car in a sense. You know, not pristine by any stretch, so the interior is good enough that we can just give it a clean and put it together, put the seats in and stuff. I think it'll be fun. 323 open differential, so it'll do burnouts forever with that setup, which is fun too. Not good for going fast, but definitely is fun. Just looking here, it's the original oil pan. It's got the 402 number on here, but not a single dent, which is so odd. Not a single one, not even a little one. Isn't that something, eh? Perfect condition. Not normal. I'll get that oil filter off too. I think I'll do that while I'm waiting for that to drain. I'll be looking at this way here. And that'll probably be tight. No, not even that bad. Okay, I'll keep it finger tight. Last time on the CUDA, the Red 71, I cut out a milk jug or an oil jug or something just to not spill so much, but I don't know, this thing hasn't run in so long. Maybe that won't be a lot of oil in that filter. I don't know. I'm just trying to avoid a mess here, that's all. But yeah. Okay, I can't wait forever. I think it's drained enough. It's finally down to a drip, so good enough. Make sure the bolt surface is clean. You might have noticed I started wearing my microphone on a hat. So far it's giving far better, more consistent sound. You know, before, depending which way I turn my head, it'd be loud, it'd be soft, it'd be all over the map, but this seems to be nice consistent, so it may look kind of goofy, but seems to work the best. Okay, hopefully there's not a ton of oil coming out of this filter. Let's have a look here. Could be making a big mess. Probably should make that scoop thing. Yeah, there's not much in there, so shouldn't be. Well, there's a little bit dripping off the back. Shouldn't be too bad though. I'll wipe it up with paper towel. Quite a few years ago, one of our club members in our Mopar club, Okanagan Mopars, he used to be a Purelator rep, sales rep, and he retired. I mean, this is probably 5-6 years ago anyway, but he had a whole ton of inventory, and he put a ad in our newsletter, and I bought a whole bunch of brand new Purelator filters from him, probably 4 or 5 cases, and then I sold a couple cases to different buddies. Anyway, they were $2 a filter, and the Purelator Premium Plus is rated as a pretty good filter, so I'm still going through them. I probably got another 10-year supply with the amount I drive. Normally when I do oil changes, I like to pre-fill the filter. Of course, it's harder on a big block Mopar being on a sideways angle, but you know, you could still get half a filter full of oil in there. But because we're gonna do a pre-lube with a priming rod on the actual oil pump, it'll fill the filter itself as well as the rest of the engine, so I'm not so concerned about filling it right now because it will be full. The shiniest part on the car right there. And she's tight. Okay, so that's good there. Of course, we'll lower it down to fill it, but I think I will do the transmission pan next. Okay. Got lots of paper towel on standby. This is usually a messy job. Like I mentioned earlier, the tail shaft's out and probably been out for a good while, so I'm sure a lot of this tranny fluid is drained out over the years every time you move the car at an incline or something. But we'll see. I'm kind of curious to see how nice and clean it is inside, being a rebuilt tranny at one point. My guess is that it's really good, but that's just a guess, or maybe a hope. Flinging dirt around. Let me get this ready. Don't need to make a mess. It's kind of interesting that Sears painted their tranny rebuilds red. I don't know why, but I guess they got to have some kind of trademark color or something. Adjust this pan. Okay, so we got one left. Just going to give it a little blip. Give it a bit of clearance, so that the pan will still stay there when I tilt it here. Now I can see fluid leaking out, so it's got a fair bit of fluid in it. Slopped a bit, but not bad. I'll get the light in there, I'll give you a view of what's going on. Yeah, made a mess on the floor, but not too bad. I think I will undo this bolt a bit more. There we go. And the fluid looks pretty good, nice and red. Not bad at all. You see it in the light here. Pretty clear. So hopefully that'll be good. I'm kind of curious too to see if there's a shift kit in here. Be able to tell. Huh, never thought. Maybe I should have ordered one for it. I just put in my second Rock Auto order for with parts for this car. Maybe, you know, it didn't even occur to me. Maybe I should put a shift kit in it. Huh. Might have to do that. And maybe what I'll do too before I put my next order in is I'll pop these wheels off and have a look at the drums and the shoes. Those are two items I didn't order. I just assumed they would be good. So maybe I'll confirm that, and if I have to, I'll order new drums and shoes for it. Although Rock Auto didn't have much listing. These being a 440 car, came with heavy-duty 11-inch drums, and they only had a listing for, I think it was the back, pair of backs, or fronts, I can't remember which. They didn't have all four, or, you know, front and back. They just had one, which I thought was odd, but anyway. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Okay, let's finish taking this pan off. There we go. There's some more. Kind of curious to see what kind of clutch material is in it, in the pan. Oh, there's lots of weird stuff on the filter. Anyway, I'll come around this side and see. You guys can probably see this better than me already. Oh yeah, looks like a lot of something there. And look at this. Whatever this is. Big chunks of goo. I don't know what that, maybe that's what tranny fluid does after 40 years of sitting. But definitely a good thing I'm pulling this apart to have a look. So what a weird goo on this filter. I don't know what that is, but I'll pop this out and have a look in some better light. Kind of disappointed I didn't order a shift kit, but can't tell yet. Maybe it's got one. Doubtful that Sears put one in, and doubtful that Roy pulled it apart. Again, he said he went through quite a few transmissions, so that's kind of strange, but not a normal thing. Let's see if he's doing neutral drops or something, but I suspect, I didn't ask him, but I suspect maybe he was just putting used trannies in and then finally he got one rebuilt and it's still in here. See, look at this, like, it's got the consistency of grease. Well, let's have a look. Sure is clean, actually, other than that goo on the filter. Everything is spotless. There's no grit or debris. And I don't see a shift kit. As you can see, a different color plate sandwiched in here, like a gold anodized plate or something. But It looks like just a stock setup. But yeah, like I said, it looks clean. And we'll have a look at the pan. Way down here. Yeah, it's more of that sludgy stuff. Now, yeah, it seems to be a fair bit of clutch material in here. No real chunks of anything. Oh, a little bit of grit there. A bit there too. For the most part, it's just a discoloration. A lot like the Wales transmission was. You know, there's definitely a film of clutch material, you know, the black stuff there. But I'm not gonna rebuild it until we try it out, so I think I'm gonna order a shift kit. And I got the filter and gasket already, and we'll adjust the bands up and some fresh fluid, and we're gonna send it. And I think it'll be just fine. Okay, well, just gonna give this tranny pan a little clean up. Nothing too serious, because I'm just gonna bolt it back on just to keep the transmission clean, because I believe I'm going to order a shift kit for it. Get some nice firm shifts going on, because I plan to beat this car. You know, in a good way. I'm not talking Dukes of Hazzard beat. Just burnouts and donuts and stuff. Yeah, it's a good film of clutch material here. Lots of little bits of stuff, but I don't think it's anything. It's nothing hard. It's not like it's parts of the tranny coming out. I think it's just grunge. Maybe a bit of rust particles. Yeah, so I was looking over the transmission and it's spotless inside, so that's good. And on the driver's side of the tranny, right along the pan rail, there's a bunch of numbers stamped in the transmission, and that'll tell you what it originally came out of. The valve body is dated 67, so I know Roy, the last owner, said that the tranny was switched out and stuff, and most likely that's what happened, but I got a slight glimmer of hope that maybe it's the original tranny and he just forgot or something, you know, because 50 years is a long time to remember trivial stuff like that. Yeah, let's give this a clean, wipe the gasket, and then I'm just going to put it back on just to keep debris out. You know, it's too bad we live where it snows so much. Be nice to be able to drive the cars year round. That would be so cool. I mean, we could, but they wouldn't last long. Back in the 80s, I remember I had my 68 Charger, my first Charger, and it was just a 3-teen car, and I put a 67 440 HP in it out of the junkyard, back when you could do that, $400, put it in. But I had skinny winters, those really aggressive tread type winter tires on the back, and it was my daily driver, and that's just the way it was, you know. Okay, I think I'm gonna pop this up. Well, you can sure tell someone's been messing in here when you're missing 2 of the bolts, and the ones you have, one is up here, 7/16, and in here you got a Phillips screw. I wonder if that was the Sears Service Center that put that in like that, if they did that there, or I don't know, but obviously the thread's correct. I'm just pulling this off because I'm curious to have a look, that's all. No real reason to pull it off. I guess I could drain the torque converter, you know, when I change the fluid, so you get all the old stuff out. This short wrench is not doing it. That's the tightest bolt I've come across yet. Okay, much longer wrench this time, more leverage, and we'll see. Oh yeah, that wasn't so bad. Just needed the leverage. Curious to see if it's a factory type high stall. Usually you can tell them by the thicker ring gear, because the torque converter is a smaller diameter, you know, 11 inch instead of 12, that kind of thing. Yeah, it looks pretty standard. Yeah, you can see here the ring gear is just a standard thickness, so I'm not sure. Man, even painted red inside the bell housing. I'm not even sure what stall that would be. I gotta think a factory GTX should be, you know, 2000, 2200 maybe stall, and this could be that, but definitely nothing special. If I was so inclined, I do have a couple of higher stall converters in my parts hoard. I could switch out, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, generally you want to put a higher gear or a higher numerical gear in there when you do that. So everything complements each other, right? So I think for now I'll just leave it and see how it goes. But yeah, I'll put this cover back on. So on my next order I did order new shocks, some KYBs. So I think right now I'm gonna just spray, and these end links here for the sway bar. So I think I'm gonna spray everything down that's got to come apart. And hopefully that'll make my life a little easier, but probably shouldn't hold my breath on that one. Oh, and I should spray the wheel cylinders and all that kind of stuff, those hoses. You got these lower shock plates, and they look to be in good shape overall, but last thing I want to do is snap the bottom stud off that holds the shock on. So I'll just make sure we got time to soak. My shocks won't show up for, you know, 5 or 6 days, so this will be lots of time to soak. It's got stock shackles on here. Oh, so I wonder if these springs are good the way they are and we just put some fatter tires on them. I have a hard time with stock B bodies, but I guess probably a lot of the different E bodies too. Just the stock skinny tires, it's just I just think looks terrible. Especially these B bodies with the big deep wheel wells. And you know, the tires sunk way in. Oh, it's just horrible. So we'll rectify that on this. I'm going to have to order some left-hand thread collared lug nuts, which I don't have. They're probably hard to find. Might have to order them or something, but Rock Auto didn't have any. Yeah, because I want to put those center lines on here probably, since I have them and they got, you know, reasonably crappy tires on them. Well, actually the tires are good, they're just old. So I might just put them on and burn them off or whatever. But they're good size. They're a 275/60 15 and a 235/60. So I think they would look reasonable on here. Yeah, spray these lugs too. Well, what the heck, I guess before I lower it down, I'll give everything a grease shot with the grease gun. A minute ago I was talking about the different ring gear thicknesses and being higher stall. So this gray one is out of the 74 Roadrunner GTX, and you can see the thickness of the ring gear right there versus this one. This one's out of the whale, out of the 64, and you can see how shallow that ring is. So that's a bigger diameter torque converter, which is a lower stall than that one, which is a higher stall. So you can mix and match with the factory converters to get a bit more stall. I'm not sure what that actual stall is. That's just the way it came in the car, but probably a bit better than stock for sure. So I got to start gathering parts for this to switch out. I ordered a new fuel pump because it was cheap, and I thought that's good insurance. You can see this crappy fiberglass fan. That's got to go. I've got a pretty good stash of 7-bladed clutch fans, so I'm going to use that. I got a new rad hoses. We're going to get rid of this. This is pretty scuzzy, and look at that filter. It's just egged. Okay, so that's going away. This carburetor's going away. If I recall, it was seized. No, actually it's not seized. That's a non-performance type carburetor. Doesn't belong on there anyway. Would have been an AVS on this car. But I've got an Edelbrock 750 I will put on. And gonna have some new wires because these ones are very old. I should look to see if they have the Chrysler logo on them. That would be interesting. I got this. This is the Edelbrock RPM dual plane. Perfect for a street car. That came off the Race Barracuda shortly before I blew it up. You know, had I not messed with that thing, I'd still have it. But anyway, can't have nice things, right? Always got to mess with stuff. I think what happened on that Barracuda is I advanced the timing, and detonation killed those pistons. I'm almost certain of that. Looks like somebody was trying to get it running with a, looks like maybe a Ford coil. I got lots of Chrysler ones. We don't need to mess with that. I'm going to pull this distributor out and the intake off and the valley pan, vacuum it all up, and then pre-oil the cam before I start cranking it over, and pre-oil the oil system with priming rod right down through here. Anyway, we'll get busy here. I guess it was loose when they removed the rad, which they probably did to have it rebuilt because it looks like a fresh rebuild, so bonus for me. Gonna dig up the proper alternator brackets here too. This is kind of a goofy setup. These intake bolts off, and the valve cover on this side. The other side's already loose. Hopefully this engine inside is just like the transmission was, you know, just spotlessly clean. We'll see. I'm hoping this, what did the odometer say? I think it was like 85,000 miles or something like that, and Roy, the guy I got it from, seemed to think that was original, so that would be cool. My gold 70 Barracuda, or Cuda, I was right around 100,000 miles, and it still runs really nice. So I have hope for this one to run nice. We can have fun with it. I got lots of 440s I could switch out if it is bad. I would imagine it's probably just a stock cam in there, but you never know. Maybe it's a Mopar purple shaft. That was in my 70 Cuda. I mean, it's 3-3, completely stock otherwise, but it had a purple shaft in it. I think like a Hemi type grind, a 474 or something like that. Anyway, it works good. So it'd be a bonus if this one had a bit of a cam in it. Looks like a date code on there. Looks like 11/20/73. So November 20th, 73 for these plug wires, it would appear. I think they've probably done their time, hey? Out of here. This one was already taken off. Look how clean that is, eh? I'll zoom in here. Yeah, see, doesn't even have oil or crusty buildup, so there's hope the rest of the engine is the same way. It's ready to come off now. It's set for the big reveal. Just out of reliability, a guy should replace those hoses that have probably been on there since the 70s. Hopefully there's no big rat's nest in here. I'm guessing it's just as clean as the other side. I'm also guessing that I should have probably vacuumed before I did this. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, obviously somebody's had this apart, and I hope they haven't ran it too long like this, but as you can see, they've got the shaft upside down. This is supposed to be obviously on the bottom because there is oiling holes and they're offset on the shaft, so these pretty much go on one way. Give my back a workout. Oh yeah, coming off pretty easy. Oh boy! Oh, that's heavy. Well, I guess I can probably have a look at that timing chain while I'm in here too. If it's original, it might even have plastic gears on it still. And of course, you know what 60 or almost 60-year-old plastic gears will do. When I was in Rock Auto and shopping for this thing, I clicked on timing chain, and then I thought, well, better slow down. Maybe you don't even need them, but the fact that I'm pulling this off, I'll be able to tell. And if I have to, you know, pull the front end off and put a timing chain in it, so be it. And of course, as things snowball that way, I do have some really good low mileage used camshafts. I could always stick one of them in there if this cam is bad and buy some new lifters for it and give that a shot. They're like a comp 280H type cam. But then again, you do that, things start to snowball, and pretty soon I'll be putting 391s and a high-style torque converter in here. Of course, you know, that ain't so bad either. Okay, this is the moment everybody's been waiting for. Well, me anyway. Got the last bolt to go. It's well sealed up anyway. Oh, look at that. It's exactly what I hoped. Give you a first look in here. Look at how clean that is. Just spotless. So I'll tell you one thing, if I do decide to do the timing chain, if it hasn't been touched, I'll just leave this cam and everything in there because, man, everything's just beautiful. That's good news. I think I'm going to take these, well, I have to anyway because I think they're backwards, but if you look here, there and there, head gasket, that is a non-stock gasket. That's a composite type. This engine should have a steel shim head gasket. So somebody's been in here, which is totally fine. If they've upgraded some parts, that's a bonus for me. So we'll see, but I'm going to take these rocker arms off because there's something up there. Let's get this rocker off. Shouldn't take too much energy because they only supposed to be torqued to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, so you can I would guess these shafts are probably ruined because somebody really cranked those on, and it's only supposed to be 25 foot-pounds. Holy. Somebody was in here that didn't know what they were doing. I'll betcha. Well, we'll see once we get it out. I'll bet you they crushed the shaft by tightening it so hard. Because that is insane. Lots of crusty rust buildup in these ports of these cylinder heads. This condensation type stuff. This one rocker here too was really loose. And where everything else was tight, so I don't know what's up. Don't you love that when that happens? Okay, rocker shafts are loose. Let's pull them off here and have a look at what's going on. So, see, that's the beauty of cars like this. You don't have to worry about the paint, right? You can just work on it like they did in the old days in the 70s and just do whatever. I wonder if they switch these shafts at some point, because the oil holes were in the right position, yet we got wear on the top side of that shaft, so I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to pop these off. I'm thinking that shaft is it's going to be egg-shaped, but maybe not. Yeah, it's probably fine. I take it back. I don't know why the shafts are upside down, but definitely were way too tight. Regardless, I'm going to leave that here, just like that, because of the orientation of everything. The rockers, eh? And I'm going to have a look at that push rod that was really loose. And then I'll pull a lifter or two out, and let's see how much wear is on them. So I think it was this one. Oh, it looks nice and straight. There's no issues. Yeah, let's pull that lifter out. Have a look. Everything's nice and loose in their bores. Okay. It's got some wear, as you'd expect. You know, it's not bad at all. You know, ideally you're supposed to have convex here, a bit of a curve to it. And as they wear, they go flat and concave, but it's hard to tell without a straight edge, but it's definitely not concave. Like it seems to be decent wear. So, that's all good news. I haven't been able to look at that. I think I'll get a stool. I haven't been able to look at that timing chain. If it's all steel, then it's been replaced, so that's a telltale sign. So we'll see. I hope it has been replaced and it's in good shape, because then we're good to go. I got a feeling this thing is going to run no problem. Okay, I think we'll call it a night here. It's getting late, and this video is probably going to be too long as it is. So I'll post this up, give you a little insight as to what's going on here, and maybe get back at her tomorrow. Anyway, like and subscribe and share if any of this interests you in any way, if it's entertaining at all. And thanks for watching Pile of Mopars, and we'll see you next time.